So next Saturday, we have a big fight between Gervonta, Tank Davis, and King Ryan Garcia. Here's my official prediction for that bout. Now, I have made one video each, one stating why Gervonta beats Ryan and why Ryan beats Gervonta. But this time, I'll actually be telling you my official prediction and who I'm actually picking, who I actually think is going to win. I gave you reasons for both in two separate videos, but I'm actually going to tell you who I think is going to win this time. Now, what I see happening in this fight, I see the first 3, maybe even 4 rounds all going to Ryan. I think he's actually going to hurt Tank early. He's going to have him on the ropes. He's going to unload combinations and go for the early finish or the early knockdown. I don't see him dropping Tank. However, I see him having Tank badly hurt on the back foot, outworking him, and dominating the beginning of the fight. However, I see Tank slowly but surely getting back into the fight, landing counter shots of his own, countering Ryan with big shots upstairs, pushing him against the ropes, and slowly gaining a rhythm and crawling his way back into this fight, as weird as that sounds. Now, after 5 or 6 rounds, Ryan will still be up on the cards, but Tank will be gaining ground and continuing to push Ryan back. I see round 7 and round 8 also being relatively competitive, relatively back and forth. However, after I think 8 competitive rounds of a tough fight, I see Gervonta Davis eventually knocking out Ryan Garcia. And I pick a Gervonta Davis to win this fight by KO victory. I said round 9, but honestly, it's between round 8 and round 9 for me. I'm struggling to go for an actual pick. I think if I had to pick one, I'm probably going to go for an 8th round KO victory for Gervonta Tank Davis, where he's down on the scorecards. He gets hurt early on, but he eventually toughens the fight out, pushes hard, digs deep, and knocks Ryan Garcia out. I'm not sure what punch is going to knock Ryan out. It's either going to be a hook upstairs or an uppercut, but I'm not fully sure what I'm going to go with. It might be a sweeping left hand as well. There's a lot of shots that Tank could end the fight with, but I'm picking him to knock Ryan Garcia out. And the reason I'm picking him to KO Ryan's defense is going to lose him this fight, in my opinion. He keeps his chin way too high in the air. He doesn't protect his chin very well. He has a nice jab, Ryan. He'll keep Tank at bay for a while, and he'll win a lot of the early rounds, as I mentioned. But eventually, Tank is going to land on that chin, and I do believe that he does have the power to knock Ryan Garcia out, and I see him knocking Ryan Garcia out. Now, my backup prediction for this fight, my initial pick and my main pick is Gervonta Davis by an 8th round KO victory, maybe 9th round. 8th or 9th, but I'm going to edge out round 8. My backup pick is Ryan Garcia by a very competitive unanimous decision where he can keep Tank at bay long enough to win a competitive decision. However, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I'm picking Gervonta Davis to win this fight by knockout. As I mentioned before, Tank's going to get within range. He's going to go to the body. He's going to get on the inside, and he's going to knock Ryan Garcia out. Now, this is a very tough fight to call. Both fighters are undefeated. Both fighters are in their prime. Both fighters have had tests, but they both look very dominant for the most part. They're both big punchers. They're both very quick. They both dislike each other. It's going to be a tough fight for sure. However, I don't think Ryan can keep Tank at bay for too long. Now, if Ryan tries fighting Tank on the inside, he's going to get dominated. So the only way he can actually win this fight is to fight Tank on the outside, use his jab, and outbox him. Now, he could push Tank back and get him on the ropes and beat him up from the outside while coming forward. However, if Ryan comes forward, I think Tank's going to try to get in position to get close. And once he does that, Tank's going to take over this fight. It's going to be a very tough fight for Tank. As I mentioned before, I think Tank's going to get hurt early on. I do strongly believe Ryan Garcia is going to hurt Tank in this fight. However, I don't think he's actually going to be able to drop him. I wouldn't be shocked if he drops Tank in the early rounds. However, I don't think he's going to actually put Gervonta Davis down. He's going to have him hurt, but Tank's going to warm up. He's going to adjust, and he's going to knock Ryan Garcia out. Now, Gervonta Davis in his last few bouts has not looked great, in my opinion. People don't really talk about this, but his last 3 performances, he's disappointed me in all of them. He looked very poor against Rolly. I think I picked Tank to win that fight by a 6th round KO. It was either round 4, 5, or 6. I was pretty much spot on with the round, but he had a much tougher fight against Rolly than he should have. He was getting outworked, and he was losing that fight before the KO victory. When it came to his last fight against Hector Garcia, do not let BoxRec fool you. Do not let the official scorecards fool you. That was a very close fight before the stoppage. I had the fight even. You could argue it was 5 rounds to 3 for Tank, but it was a very tough fight, and Hector Garcia was moving up in weight. He was still relatively unproven. Yes, he dominated Chris Colbert, and he had a comfortable decision against Roger Gutierrez, but those guys are not on Tank's level, obviously. Tank would have obliterated Colbert. Tank would have dominated Gutierrez as well. However, Hector Garcia gave Tank a very tough fight and was heavily outworking him early on and outboxing him the first 3-4 rounds. If we get that version of Tank, I also forgot to mention the Isaac Cruz fight, which Tank struggled with. I know he hurt his hand and was injured in that fight, but that was by far Tank's worst performance. That and the Fonseca outing, who's a common opponent with Ryan, and Ryan knocked out Fonseca in 1 round, brutally. Anyways, the performance against Isaac Cruz was very poor as well, and he looked very bad. So I want to state this right away. If we get the Tank Davis that fought Isaac Cruz, Rolando Romero, and Hector Garcia against Ryan Garcia, he's going to lose 100%. He's going to get outboxed, and he's going to lose a tough decision. He'll come back late, and he'll make the fight competitive, but it'll be too late, and Ryan Garcia will beat him. If we get the Gervonta Davis that fought Mario Barrios, the Gervonta Davis that fought Jose Pedraza, Leo Santa Cruz, we get the Tank that's explosive, hungry, and looks dominant and looks destructive. He will knock out Ryan Garcia in the mid to later rounds, like I'm predicting him to. And I think that's the Tank Davis we're going to get. I believe we're going to get a hungry, a strong, and a powerful Tank. I feel Tank is much more inconsistent than Ryan. When you look at Ryan's outings, obviously he had that Carlos Morales outing a while ago, but since then, he's been dominant in every fight he's had aside from the Luke Campbell one, and obviously Luke Campbell's a big step up in opposition. You can make a case that version of Luke Campbell will be one of Gervonta Davis' best victories of his career. But Ryan has looked very sharp and very consistent. I don't know if he's going to look any better against Tank than he has in his previous fights. Probably. I expect we're going to get the best version of Tank and the best version of Ryan. But Tank Davis has a chip on his shoulder for this fight. He needs to win this fight. He needs to make a statement. He needs to impress. And I believe he's going to do so. Keep in mind, Tank's also a very good finisher. If he has Ryan Garcia hurt, which I know he's going to eventually in this fight, keep in mind Ryan Garcia keeps his chin very high in the air. He's a little chinny, and he likes to engage. He's going to have Ryan hurt, and Tank is one of the best finishers in boxing. When he has Ryan Garcia hurt, he's going to jump on him, and he may get him out of there right away. I'm telling you, Ryan Garcia, he leaves his chin way too high in the air, and he's way too chinny. Tank, when he has him hurt, is going to jump on him. And Tank is so consistent and so destructive when he has his opponents hurt. I'm not sure what punch is going to do it, as I mentioned. It might be the uppercut, might be the hook, might be the overhand, but he's going to get Ryan Garcia out of there eventually. As I said, Ryan could keep him on the outside and win a decision, but once he gets clipped on the chin clean by Tank Davis, I know how Ryan Garcia is. He's not going to stay disciplined. He's not going to stay behind a jab. He's going to try to trade with Tank Davis. He's going to try to knock Tank Davis out and fight Tank's fight. And once he does that, once he gets drawn into Davis's match, he will lose. He will get knocked out. Ryan Garcia is a quick starter. One key to victory I would advise for Ryan is try to get Tank's respect early, maybe even drop him in the first 1, 2, 3, or 4 rounds. And if you can successfully do that, you can keep Tank at bay long enough to where once Tank finally warms up and Tank finally gains a rhythm, it's too late and you win a decision. But as I said, Ryan does not have that same discipline. I've heard somewhere he left Joe Goossen, and if that's the case, that's not a good decision at all. Because Joe Goossen, in my opinion, was making Ryan Garcia very good of his fundamentals and was improving his jab. If Ryan Garcia boxes Tank, keeps the fight at bay, as I've given the game plan and the blueprint many times. However, I know Ryan's not going to do that. He's going to try to knock Gervonta out, and he's going to fail. He might have him hurt, but he's eventually going to get knocked out by Tank. Keep in mind, and I know people don't straight up say this, both fighters are considered punchers, but Tank is the bigger puncher of the two. If they get into a war, Davis is going to win. And that's what's going to happen. Ryan's going to get drawn into a war once round 6, round 7 hits. And by round 8, maybe round 9, he's going to get Ryan out of there. It's not going to be a TKO either. It's going to be a KO. He's going to knock Ryan out. He may knock him out cold. He may just knock him out. But I'm picking Gervonta Davis to win this fight by an 8th or 9th round KO. I'm going to go for round 8 is my official pick, but round 9 is my other pick for Tank. And if Ryan does win, it's going to be on points. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. If you can properly predict this fight in the comment section, I'll pin your comment for this video and give you a personalized shout out in my post-fight review. The only way you can be eligible for that is if you tell me the exact round you're picking for either fighter. So if you're picking either fighter to win this fight by knockout, tell me the exact round you're picking. And if you're picking either fighter to win this fight on points, tell me if it's split, unanimous, or majority. Whoever in the comment section is closest to getting the prediction right will get a comment shout out in my post-fight review and their comment pinned for this video. Anyways, that's all I got to say, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. God bless. I'll see you guys later. Peace.